are you finding your time in Australia?
Wonderful. I think that finding my time in Australia is as I'm spending time in Pakistan, because the food that we are eating is all Pakistani food. And one of my students in Pakistan was saying that you must be enjoying Australian cuisine. I said no, because as if we're still in Pakistan, and it's good because we are used to this cuisine. And I'm saying it's in a positive way, that you don't feel alienated, you don't feel that you have come far from your own country. So the biryanis and the niharis and the pies and everything that we have in Pakistan, they are available here. Other than that, the people like you, young minds, it's always refreshing to have a chat with them. It's wonderful to have had a chat over the past 2 days, and as well as your parents. They have been very good hosts here, and we really enjoyed our stay. And not to forget the beautiful weather, the spring weather that you are passing through. So in Lahore, from where I came about 10 days ago, it was very, very humid and also a little hot. So this is like a very welcome change. Really enjoying the weather and dreading to go back.
Yeah, I think you've been Melbourne before coming to Sydney.
So we landed in Melbourne. Then we went. We had 4 sessions with the youngsters or youth like you there, and then we went to Adelaide. And at Adelaide also we had a session with the youth in the University of South Australia. People of your age mostly and their parents were there. And then we had some individual gatherings over dinners and lunches. And so today and yesterday we had these 4 sessions. We have, I think, another one lined up for tomorrow, which is for women. And then I think we're supposed to go to Brisbane and Canberra, and then back to Sydney. And we have some programs also lined up in Brisbane and Canberra. So it's really enjoyable.
Out of the cities that you've been so far at, so Melbourne, Adelaide, and now Sydney, which one would be your favorite?
I find them to be equally the same, because you see, we are mostly confined to our work. I've not seen the city as much, but probably I would say Adelaide is a very beautiful city because of its undulating landscape. And someone actually told me, in fact, my host in Adelaide told me that it is one of the top livable cities of the world today. And it has a very beautiful landscape. It's not a very big city, it has a small population. But I think we went to the shores of the Tasman Sea. We had a visit to the beach and that area in which the Tasman Sea touches the shores. And it was marvelous, it was beautiful.
Yeah. Have you seen anyone riding a kangaroo yet?
Not yet, but I would. Okay. Do they ride kangaroos?
No, they don't. Yeah. Usually someone will say Sydney or Melbourne, like out of their favorite ones, but I think Adelaide does get some credit. If you were to describe Australia in 3 words, what would it be?
Sports loving, friendly, and lively.
Yeah. That's good to hear. Good to hear.
Another question. In the youth sessions that you did in the other cities, was there anything that you think stuck out that maybe we haven't touched the topic in the group?
Well, I think most of the things that we discussed there, they related to parenting. We had Islamophobia, we had the social and gender issues. Maybe some of the misconceptions that are found regarding religion or regarding Islam, some of them that we discussed could be touched upon. But I mean, then there's no limit to them. There's so many things that can be discussed. But I think the major things that are of importance have all been discussed even here in Sydney.
You've provided a lot of advice, tips, and a wealth of knowledge today. But if you were to give an overall message to the youth, the young Muslims of this day and age, especially the ones raised in a Western country, what would it be?
I would say there's just 2 things. One, always follow the voice of your conscience. Never compromise on your conscience. And second, when you're thinking, you must always resort to critical thinking. Don't accept things the way they are presented to you. Don't take things as if on their face value. Always critically evaluate concepts, and if you feel compelled to believe them on the basis of arguments and reasoning, only then you should believe them. Otherwise, emotions or attachment because of a particular bias should not be a means of making you adhere to a particular point of view. It's basically intellectually inspired reasoning that should be the basis of getting attached to a particular opinion.
Mm-hmm. great message. What inspired you to become a learned scholar in Islam?
I think my journey began when I lost my father at a very young age. I was just 14. So that was one thing that really shook me. And it took me a lot of time to analyze and realize my own destiny as a professional. So I initially started off with an engineering degree. I finished my engineering degree. And it was during my final year that I was ultimately totally convinced that engineering is not my cup of tea. And basic questions of philosophy like who is God, where we have come from, what's the purpose of life, is there afterlife, and what is the Quran, what message does it give to us. So basically these were the questions that came to my mind, and I thought that it was only religion that can properly and fully answer them. So I thought that I would turn to religion and dedicate my life in acquiring religious knowledge. And so it happened like that.
And what advice would you give to someone who wants to become a learned scholar like you?
I think it depends on the opportunities that you have. You see, it's not the same everywhere. I was very lucky that once I finished my studies, I had a place to go. For example, you know of Al-Mawrid. You have this branch in Australia. It was founded in 2015, I think. But the actual Al-Mawrid was founded in 1983 in Lahore, Pakistan. So I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity there in which I could study and at the same time work also. So other people who would like to follow the same career path, I would say, is that they assess their own in their own situation. And today at Al-Mawrid from Pakistan, we do offer a course that's a slightly longer course. It's 7 years for people who would like to become scholars. And although it's offered in a way that you can take longer and still pay attention to your career and to your responsibilities and to your duties, but it's not something which can ideally be done together, because that course is also a very something really involving, and a person who might be doing a job is also something very involving. So it could be a little difficult, but if you have the will to go on, I think the best way would be that you do with your profession whatever you're doing, and in your spare time you attempt to do this course.
During your journey, you have written many books and translated many books. Which book was the most favorite to write?
I think the most favorite book that I have written, I see it's not here actually. It's called The Good Human, and it is a book which actually is a book that gives you tips on becoming a better person in life. And I think that my thesis is that unless you become a better human being, you cannot be a good Muslim. So to be a good Muslim, you have to be a good human being, because humanity lies at the base of all religions. So when I wrote that book, I questioned myself that what are the pillars of humanity? What are the foundations of humanity? And so I think I really enjoyed writing that book.
Yes. There's one called The Fine Human, I think.
That is the next part.
Okay.
So The Fine Human is the sequel, is like the next part. So I wrote, I've written 3 books on this topic. In fact, if I remember, there are 5 now. So the one is called The Good Human. The other one is called The Fine Human. Another one is called Character Building. The 4th one is called Lessons in Character Building. And the 5th one is basically poetry, which revolves around human development, and that is called From the Core of My Heart.
Interesting. What advice would you give to someone who wants to become closer to God and to the right path? I know we covered many things, but I mean, if you give a summary.
I think the best way to come closer to God is to have a very living relationship with Him, and that can be done if you acknowledge His favors, His blessings. You see how He's been caring for you through directly and indirectly, through your own parents, through your own extended family, how He has blessed you with so many things. So it's basically this expression of gratitude that should arise in ourselves. And this gratitude should link us to God through the Quran, through by sharing our blessings, by praying to God, by acknowledging all His favors, and always being a humble person.
What lessons from Islamic history do you believe are the most relevant to us today?
The most relevant lessons is that whatever you think is the right course for you, whatever you think, it could be different from others, but you should be true to your own self. Whatever you think is the correct way, whether other people like it or not, you must be sincere in following that. Because God is going to judge you as per your understanding. And you have to be true to your understanding and passionately follow your understanding.
Amazing. Any questions from the audience? Any last?
I think that one thing that I'd like to say is something that I've already said earlier on, is that remember that life is an opportunity that we have to make a difference in the life of other people. So always think how you can make a difference in the life of other people, of people around you, of people who might be in stress, people who might be in misery, people who might be in distress, because this is one thing in which you can really make a difference in the life of other people, make other people happy. And when you make other people happy, this is the greatest source of making yourselves happy as well. So happiness is something which radiates happiness. And if you start off with this, then it's like an unending job, because every time you meet someone, the next thing that you would realize is that how can I make this person happy in life? And you start doing those things, and then you meet another person and another and another. So this is like a chain reaction that goes on of bringing happiness in the lives of other people. And when you bring that happiness, you feel so much comfort and so much satisfaction and happiness in your own soul.
Yeah, and that's the core of being a human.
I think in your absence, we were discussing a lot of things that what parents should do. And one of the things that I would advise parents to do is that they should not impose their ideas on their young children, young grown-up children, and let them do what they think is right. Let them make mistakes, advise them, but stop after that advice, because you see, unless you give independence and freedom to your children, they will not be able to have that self-belief. They will never have self-confidence. This confidence can only be built once you give them the chance to live the life they want to. And the other thing is, always remember that God also has given us this opportunity that as parents, we should, yes, advise our younger generation. We can do all sorts of counseling, but we must never force them to do something which they don't like. Even if we like them to do something and they're doing something differently, let it be their decision. For example, let it be their choice to a career, their choice to marry a spouse that they wish to, their choice to make any major decision in life. Because it is they who are going to live that life, and it is they who are, if they're making a mistake, then, if you stop them from doing that mistake, they're not going to learn. So let them make that mistake, they'll learn from that mistake, and it's going to be a gradual journey. Parents are very ambitious. They want their children to be reformed immediately. They would like them to be 5 times prayer every, they should be very punctual in their prayers and very, very punctual in their duties. Let this happen over a period of time. Don't be ambitious to make it happen in a year maybe. I was just telling them that if you have to become punctual, for example, in praying to God, don't start praying 5 times a day if you're not punctual. If you're already praying, that is fine. But if you have still to make yourself punctual, start off by praying once a day. Try to understand the meaning of the prayer. And then slowly maybe you can add a second and a third and the rest of the prayers. Take things gradually, enjoy life, don't get tense, and make it a journey that you'll always cherish and relish as you grow up in life. So if something clashes with Islam, if it is my choice, I'll do what I would like, and I would give the same choice to my child also. If my child is doing something which is against Islam, I will just let him or her know, well, in my understanding, you're doing something which is not in accordance with Islam, and that is all. If the child still chooses to do something that I would not like her to choose or him to choose, I would not stop him. Because if you stop the child, that would be against human rights. Every single person has the right to do what he or she would say. Yes, I have a right to advise them, but I don't have the right to forcibly stop them.
All good. Thank you so much for today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Very informative and educative session.